Ever wanted to play game starring Tales? Well, here you go. Tales and the Music Maker. This is the Tales game you wanted, right guys? This is the game you want me to talk about? Tales and the Music Maker? Yeah, there's going to be actually two more Tales games coming up in 1995, which is pretty soon. But right now, this is the first game that Tales ever stars in. Now, there's actually not a whole lot of Sonic spin-off games, but this is one of them. And unlike Sonic's Game World, I actually was able to get this one to work. And it's pretty neat, actually. I have a bit of difficulty playing this game because, like I said, the elements of the book I don't really have here, so I'm just going off this blind. Tails has pink shoes for some reason, and this opening area here, I don't know what it does. You can fit coconuts, and you mostly can just hit this music note, which takes you to this mini game. This mini game plays music for each little movement you do. It's just stock music, in case you're wondering, and you gotta avoid obstacles and jump over stuff. Most of the time, I was just running and jumping, basically, without using the stop button for the most part. So, you gotta figure out which is the best way to go here. Here I thought, oh, maybe I had to tiptoe it. Turns out, no, just jump over the bridges. Doesn't matter one bit. That's what you really are supposed to do. And overall, it's pretty basic. And as you can probably tell from the background, they didn't really create anything because they just copied and pasted from Sonic 1's Green Hill Zone. And it's pretty basically easy. I mean, it's supposed to teach you music, but at the same time, it really doesn't, to be honest, because each music is different, so it's not really good at teaching music. Unfortunately, it's like be a running theme for this game. The level slightly changes, mostly in color. It just becomes like weirdly saturated, more and more until it resets. It's like only like 4 sets here, and they're pretty short. So overall, I don't know why they made the colors so ugly. Like, what is Tails doing here? Is he in the negative zone all of a sudden? Like, what happened in Green Hill Zone? There's a lot of weird areas, like this area here, which just takes you to this area here, which takes you to this mini game here, and there's a lot of mini games involving music, but it's not that too good, and plus the controls are a little janky, especially playing on emulator. When you don't have the book in front of you, you're kind of confusing what button you're supposed to press to do certain things. A lot of times I'll accidentally exit out of a game, or I didn't want to. Like there, you're supposed to select a music instrument, but I'm having a little bit of trouble. You can use Tails to fly around with your mouse cursor in pretty much any world. This is the piano, which basically makes you play the piano. Essentially, you can play every note here, even though the piano has a very limited range. Yeah, if you want to go crazy, you can. You can have some background music, including a metronome there, to help you keep time. And yeah, it's pretty basic piano stuff. Not the most interesting way to play instruments, but at least you can press multiple keys at once. But then again, you're only pressing one at a time, but you just kind of go all the way up and down the piano like most people do. And the black keys you can't even play, so that's just missing notes there, even though they're right there. Come on, game. There's this breakout game where you have to hold Tails to hit these singular notes, and they get more notes as you go on. It's supposed to teach kids about how different play things. Like I don't even remember. I've been in music class in a while. I learned this stuff and then I completely forgot about it. It's a shame. I know only a little bit, but here you're not gonna learn a lot. Like at first it takes a while to get rid of these things. These don't teach you really anything. It's like okay, there's little nothings. They make little sounds when you pop off them. And then later on you get more and more little notes, but this game really isn't that fun, even though I like Breakout, because as you can see, it's incredibly slow. There's this pinball game as well, where you can launch Tails up and just shoot the little flippers, and yeah, this has nothing to do with music either, you're just playing basic pinball and trying to get a high score. Nothing too really musical related here. And the last thing is this area with Sonic here, and I found out that I can color in Sonic with an ability to select multiple different colors, but it's not too intuitive because, like I said, it's kind of hard to control. And I was like, huh, how did I even do this? Well, eventually, I was able to do it. And I was only able to use yellow, which is, not the best color. And because of the fact that I'm using something without like a book or any obvious buttons to press, I just went, alright, hello, here's what I got to offer. Nothing too amazing, but hey, I was able to work it a little bit. I wish I could make you something better, but I was only able to use one stroke of yellow. And that's it. No erase or anything, so it kind of sucks. Also, there's a purple Eggman in the background. Isn't that lovely? The most interesting thing about this game, well, here you go, you can try to circle notes, but like I said, I always have a lot of trouble in this actual game itself doing anything because of how odd the controls are to play when you're not playing the original console. There should be a better Pico emulator because this game is not exactly easy to find nowadays. So yeah, this is actually developed by North American developers, unlike Sonic the Hedgehog Game World, which is made by Japanese developers. This game came out first in North America in 1994, in Japan in 1995. I can't even speak. I count the first release date, so of course in 1994 is when it was first released, so I'm going to count that. And I don't care. Overall, Tales of the Music Maker is pretty basic. In a way, it's better than Game World, but at the same time, it's not. I'm sure it'd be a lot better than the actual console, but it seems there's not a whole lot of good music mini games, if I'm to be honest. And I don't know how easy it is to select even on the original hardware. Overall, you're going to have a hard time even playing this game, so it's overall not worth it. Fortunately, there is no good scans of the actual pages themselves, but they mostly just copy what is on the actual screen, so nothing too exciting here to see anyway, so we'll just go on to the actual where to find part of the video. As mentioned in my last video, in order to play this game, you need a Sega Pico. Not too expensive, but you're going to have to buy this online since you really won't be able to find this out in the wild. If I found one out in the wild, I'd pick it up because it's a pretty neat piece of technology. I talked about the Pico a lot in my other Sonic Pico video, but in Sonic the Hedgehog Game World, so I recommend watching that for more information. Overall, it was an edutainment game that did well in Japan, but not too well in North America, and it's hard to find because of that now, especially the Sonic games on it. Tales of the Music Maker is actually a more cheaper game to find compared to its contemporary brother, I guess, or sister, whatever you like to call it, which is Sonic the Hedgehog Game World, which is a lot more expensive. You're still paying more than you probably need to on a game that's really not that interesting, other than a Sonic collecting piece. So, if you really want it, there you go. First Tales game. Overall, not too interesting, and overall, not too exciting. I did play this game, technically speaking, so I'm going to put it on my tier list, unlike Sonic the Hedgehog Game World, because I wasn't able to play it. I did play it, so I'm going to rank it. Final score for Tales of the Music Maker is a D tier game. It's not too great, honestly, and it kind of fits the D tier, I think. It really only outranks Sonic Eraser and Sonic 2 8-bit and Sonic Direct. Nothing too great. I've just seen better edutainment games, and overall, it's just a hard game to play because of what the console is released on. Maybe, and even then, I don't think it would even be that great of a game to play anyway. So overall, if you want a drawing software, you have a computer, use that. Even a phone is better. Actually, no, phones suck at drawing. Trust me from experience. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Tales of the Music Maker. Next time we're heading into a brand new year, 1995, and Sega is some interesting Sonic games in that year. So we'll see you when I get to the dark age of the classic Sonic era, which is 1995. We'll start with Knuckles Chaotix. See you then.